You all smell like piss. It's just unbearable.
Huh, who are you talking about?
What?
Yeah, Grandma. My mother-in-law had a dumbfounded expression on her face. I thought it was a good opportunity, so I started to fight back against my mother-in-law. My name is Kimberly Johnson. I am married and live with my husband, Mike, and our only daughter, Emily, making us a family of 3. I am currently not working and am a full-time housewife, although before getting married, I worked as an office worker at a small to medium-sized company. I feel truly fortunate to have worked at that company because that's where I met Mike. Actually, Mike was also working as an office worker. And it didn't take long for us to become friends. Initially, we would go out for drinks with other colleagues, but as we became closer, we started going out just the 2 of us. Eventually, I started dating Mike, and we went on dates to various places together. As we rapidly grew closer, I found out that I was pregnant with our daughter, Emily, even though we hadn't talked about getting married yet. I was surprised myself to find out that I was pregnant. I nervously told Mike about my pregnancy, and he proposed to me, saying, "Thank you, let's get married." Although the sequence of events was a bit unusual, I married Mike, and then our daughter, Emily, was born, making our happiness even greater. After retiring from my job, I became a full-time housewife and a mother to Emily. With a sense of pride in being Emily's mother, I believe I put in more effort than anyone else in raising her. When Emily was a baby, she cried a lot at night, causing me to lose sleep continuously. However, Mike noticed my struggle and took the initiative to help change Emily's diapers. Mike's proactive attitude and kindness towards child rearing were truly appreciated by me, who was exhausted from childcare. I was once again thankful to have met Mike. As Emily started attending daycare, I realized how quickly she was growing up. So, Emily is now 12 years old. She is in the 6th grade, and her height has significantly increased. Recently, she has been helping with household chores, and Emily is growing into a kind-hearted girl. Surrounded by my loving husband and daughter, I was living a happy life every day. However, one day, Mike said something shocking to me. "Sorry, but starting next week, my mother will be living with us."
What? Why?
My face turned pale as soon as I heard Mike's words. That's because his mother is a bit sarcastic, and I couldn't really like her. It was surprising to think that I would be living with her starting next week. Apparently, my mom has been getting into fights with the neighbors lately. She even had a heated argument with a supermarket clerk the other day. It's strange because this has never happened before. I wonder if she is feeling lonely living alone and wants attention, which is why she is behaving aggressively towards others. Besides, we can't let her cause trouble for the neighbors anymore. So, I decided that my mom should live with us. "Please take care of her, Kimberly." While nodding, I said, "I see, if that's the case, it makes sense." I understand, although I wasn't really looking forward to it. I thought it was indeed dangerous to leave her alone if she became aggressive towards others because of her loneliness. I felt a bit sorry for Mike's mother, who seemed to be running wild due to her loneliness, and thought I should lend a hand. Also, since she adores Emily, I thought there would be many benefits for her in living with us. So, some time passed, and our life living with Mike's mother began. As I expected, she adored Emily and looked genuinely happy when talking with her. Seeing her smile a lot, I felt that her loneliness might have been alleviated, and she stopped causing trouble like fighting with the neighbors. Maybe, as Mike predicted, she was acting aggressively towards others because she was lonely. Starting our life together might have filled the void in her heart. However, even though my mother-in-law seemed satisfied, her attitude towards me remained harsh as always. Well, my mother-in-law has many unpleasant traits, so instead of being direct, she tends to lash out at me by complaining about my housework. I had somewhat expected this, but surprisingly, she showed no mercy. One day, she harshly glared at me, saying the rice I cooked was too hard. I was surprised and responded, "Really?"
Yes. You should try it yourself.
After being told so by my mother-in-law, I tasted the rice, but it seemed just as firm as usual. "No, it's not." However, she persistently said, "No, this rice is too hard." Honestly, I'm disgusted. How can you serve this to Mike and Emily? You're completely unfit as a mother, in a very loud voice. Moreover, it didn't feel like she was going to back down at all. Well, I thought softer rice might be better, so I added water to the rice cooker and cooked it again. To be frank, only my mother-in-law preferred the softer rice. Seeing Mike and Emily with subtle expressions, I sighed. I somehow sensed that I was in a managerial position, caught between my mother-in-law and my family. Moreover, my mother-in-law didn't only complain about the hardness of the rice but also criticized the way I cleaned the floor. Until now, I only used a vacuum cleaner for floor cleaning. Because recent vacuum cleaners, unlike the old ones, have an excellent ability to suck up dirt and dust. Therefore, there was no particular problem with cleaning the floor using only a vacuum cleaner. However, from my mother-in-law's perspective, it seemed unacceptable that I was cleaning the floor with only a vacuum cleaner. So, she annoyingly told me how she used to clean the floor. When I was young, I used to wipe the floor with a mop before using the vacuum cleaner. But you only use the vacuum cleaner without even wiping the floor. You're not really cleaning the floor at all. From today, change the way you clean the floor. My mother-in-law spoke firmly and harshly. I was overwhelmed by her assertiveness and had no choice but to do as she said. Honestly, housework isn't just about sweeping the floor, and this particular task she ordered was quite burdensome for me. However, I didn't want to start a fight by opposing her methods, so I reluctantly began to clean the floor as she instructed. I was sighing as I wiped the floor with a mop. Suddenly, Emily called out to me. "Mom, what's going on? It's rare to see you wiping the floor with a mop." It was a Saturday, and Emily was home because there was no school. Well, actually. So I told Emily part of what happened. Then, kind-hearted Emily offered to help me with the floor cleaning. Thanks to Emily's help, we were able to finish cleaning the floor earlier than planned. However, my mother-in-law showed no sign of helping us, and just sat on the living room sofa, watching television. I sighed again as I saw her just sitting there. She has it so easy, I'm envious. That's what I thought as I looked at my mother-in-law sitting on the sofa, watching television. If she's going to complain about the way I clean the floor, she should at least show me specifically how she wants it done, which would make her complaints more convincing, I thought to myself. However, she didn't do that. Instead, she just complained and told me to figure out the improvements on my own, which was very off-putting. Even though Emily and I were working hard to clean the floor, she could just sit there and watch TV without a care in the world. I couldn't help but think how cold and brazen she was, and I started to get irritated with her. However, kind-hearted Emily went over to her grandmother and gently started a conversation. "Grandma, what are you watching?" To be honest, I was impressed by my daughter's actions. Feeling that I couldn't be outdone, I asked my mother-in-law, I was wondering too, what are you watching? However, my mother-in-law said something outrageous to us.
You both stink! Don't talk to me ever again!
Her shout echoed loudly in the living room. I was confused by what she meant and asked her for clarification. Do we smell? What kind of smell is it?
What kind of smell? It smells like piss coming from both of you. It's unbearable.
I was so taken aback by her rude comment. Huh? Whose smell? Huh?
Yeah, Grandma?
My mother-in-law had a stunned look on her face. I thought this was a good opportunity, so I started to fight back. The smell of urine is actually coming from you. If you can smell it, maybe it's time to change your diaper? Yeah, Grandma, let's change your diaper. At our suggestion, my mother-in-law looked stunned again. Actually, a few days ago, my mother-in-law had an accident. Somehow, she had wet the floor near the toilet. It seemed that she had tried to hold it in until she got to the toilet but couldn't make it in time. At first, Emily and I thought it was a one-time thing, but after it happened a few more times, we realized it was a serious issue. We somehow convinced my mother-in-law to start wearing diapers. Perhaps because the diapers were so effective, my mother-in-law might have forgotten she was wearing them. Also, the diaper silently absorbed the urine, so she might not have even realized she had an accident. I made this deduction and, considering her earlier harsh comment, everything seemed to add up. However, my mother-in-law didn't seem to understand what Emily and I were saying and just looked puzzled. Soon, she started to get irritated and said something harsh to us again.
You're saying I wet myself? What are you all talking about? Are you speaking ill of me and being mean?
Incredibly, my mother-in-law completely denied the valid remarks made by Emily and me, and instead, she played the victim. However, I felt something unnatural about her remarks. When she wet herself for the first time, she cried so much out of embarrassment. It was unnatural and frustrating that she made remarks as if she had completely forgotten how emotionally shaken she was. Even though Emily and I repeatedly told her the truth and made logical arguments, my mother-in-law refused to listen and continued to paint us as the villains. Eventually, I reached my limit and couldn't help but yell at her.
Mother-in-law, what on earth are you talking about? You are the only one here who smells like urine, so please don't blame us. Also, if you have forgotten that you wet yourself and are wearing a diaper, please check for yourself. Go to the bathroom right now, mother-in-law.
All right. You are so annoying, really. My mother-in-law apparently didn't think I was the type of person to yell like that, and feeling defeated by my forcefulness, she reluctantly went to the bathroom. While she was in the bathroom, Emily said to me, "Grandma is acting kind of strange, isn't she?" Even kind-hearted Emily seemed to think that my mother-in-law's behavior was odd. As I was responding, I heard a scream from the bathroom.
Oh, it's true. I am wearing a diaper and have wet myself. What on earth is happening? Kimberly, please come here quickly, hurry.
Apparently, my mother-in-law had realized in the bathroom that she was wearing a diaper and had wet herself, and she was shocked. Feeling her panic, I brought a spare diaper and handed it to her in the bathroom, averting a crisis. I thought the panic might have been too much for her. But then I reconsidered and felt that it was a good wake-up call, and I felt somewhat relieved. And my mother-in-law seemed to have successfully changed her diaper in the bathroom, so everything seemed to be all right. My mother-in-law came out of the bathroom looking utterly dejected.
Mother-in-law, that's great, isn't it? You were able to change your diaper and must feel refreshed.
When I said that, my mother-in-law glared at me with a terrifying expression.
What do you mean, great? What do you mean, refreshed? Do you think it's good that I have to wear diapers? You are such a cold person. There is no way you could understand my feelings.
Indeed, I can't understand your feelings at all. As you can see, I am not old and frail, and I am healthy. So, it's only natural that I can't understand your current feelings, right?
Are you picking a fight with me, the mother of your husband, Mike? I can't believe it. Why did Mike marry someone with such a bad personality, this wicked woman?
You are just as wicked. And the world calls people like you wicked.
What? What are you talking about? What part of me is wicked? You are really rude.
I was flabbergasted that my mother-in-law genuinely did not think she was a wicked person. However, there was no sign that she would change her misguided opinion or attitude. So, I had no choice but to yell at her again.
Do you understand? When people say rude, they are referring to people like you. You are causing trouble for our family. But I guess you probably don't realize that, do you?
What are you talking about?
When have I ever caused trouble for your family? Don't say ridiculous things.
Don't you realize it yet, really? I am disappointed in you, mother-in-law. You told me that the rice was too hard, right? You should know better than anyone how off-base that opinion was.
But the rice was hard. I didn't say anything wrong. I just told the truth. How am I causing trouble? Don't misunderstand.
As the fierce battle between my mother-in-law and me continued with no end in sight, surprisingly, it was the gentle-hearted Emily who put an end to it. Grandma, before you came, the rice at our house was never too hard. But since you came, the rice has been like porridge, and honestly, neither I, nor my mom, nor dad like it very much. Sure enough, my mother-in-law was quite shocked to hear such an opinion from her beloved granddaughter, Emily. I threw the final words at her.
Just like the diaper incident, you seem to have forgotten, so I'll say it. It's not that the rice I cooked is hard, it's because your teeth are dentures.
That's right. In fact, my mother-in-law had dentures. Moreover, she had dentures even before I married Mike. Yet, for some reason, the mother-in-law in front of me seemed to have forgotten that she even had dentures. Because of this, she couldn't digest my words properly and screamed.
It's a lie! There's no way I have dentures. It's a lie! You are deceiving me. I'm sure of it. You wicked woman!
Seeing my mother-in-law snapping at me, I sighed involuntarily. If you don't believe my words, check your teeth in the mirror in the bathroom. Surely, that will make it clear who is lying.
Fine, I'll prove that I'm right. In fact, I'm certain I will win. Watch me, wicked woman.
With that, my mother-in-law headed to the bathroom with full determination. However, a few seconds later, I heard her screaming from the bathroom. I grabbed the denture adhesive and, feeling exasperated, headed to the bathroom where my mother-in-law was.
What was the result? It was as I said, right?
Then, my mother-in-law answered weakly. As you said, I completely have dentures. I'm sorry for saying rude things earlier. My mother-in-law, who was completely down and feeling dejected, unusually apologized to me sincerely. Seeing her like that, my irritated heart felt refreshed. I handed her the denture adhesive and watched as she readhered her dentures. Recently, denture adhesives are light and efficient, so my mother-in-law might have forgotten that she had dentures. When my mother-in-law returned to the living room, she apologized to Emily as well.
Emily, I'm sorry for shouting and saying rude things to your mom earlier. Please forgive this foolish me.
Then, the kind Emily forgave her grandmother.
It's okay, Grandma. If you apologize properly like that, it's totally fine. Thank you.
My mother-in-law seemed to be moved by Emily's kindness and shed a few tears. It's okay, Grandma. Let's watch TV together, said Emily, taking her grandmother's hand and leading her to the sofa. I was touched by Emily's hospitable actions towards her grandmother. Children grow up really fast, not just in appearance but also in their words and actions, which made me feel a bit wistful. To override that wistfulness, I said loudly,
Then, I want to watch TV together too. Sure, that's fine. Let's watch together.
And so, Emily, my mother-in-law, and I spent some time watching TV programs and laughing together. It was a happy time, and the atmosphere was good. But then, my mother-in-law suddenly stood up and said this to me. I know I leaked urine, and yes, it does smell. But I don't think it's entirely my fault. What do you mean?
Kimberly, the floor in the hallway in front of your bathroom isn't cleaned properly, so the smell of urine that was stuck to the floor didn't get cleaned, did it? It's wrong of you to blame it all on me. What kind of terrible person are you?
And then, in the same manner as before, my mother-in-law started blaming me again. Honestly, her emotional ups and downs are too intense. I can't make sense of it. Is she the embodiment of a roller coaster or something? That can't be true. I've been cleaning the hallway in front of the bathroom properly, just as you told me to. If you still don't believe me, I'll have you smell the floor. When I said that, my mother-in-law backed down and apologized again. Seriously, how many times is she going to repeat this? But I thought my mother-in-law's behavior was too strange, so I decided to consult with Mike about it. To my surprise, Mike also found many aspects of my mother-in-law's recent behavior puzzling, so we decided to take her to the hospital. We told my mother-in-law that it was for a health checkup, and somehow managed to take her to the hospital, despite her dislike for it. There, she underwent several tests, and the results revealed what was happening to her body. The diagnosis given by the doctor was Alzheimer's disease. To put it simply, it's dementia, but the scary part of Alzheimer's is that it progresses gradually. Symptoms that occur during its progression include becoming suddenly irritable, incontinent, and forgetful. Even after that, my mother-in-law's disease continued to progress, and we eventually had to admit her to a nursing home. She was reluctant to move in, but there was no other choice. Looking at the empty house, I surprisingly felt a sense of loneliness, but also felt refreshed. In the house without my mother-in-law, I, Mike, and Emily were able to spend happy days as before. Moreover, Mike recently got a promotion at work, and his salary was increased. And there's more good news. Emily won an award in a writing contest. Mike and I, being the doting parents we are, started saying things like Emily could become a novelist in the future, as soon as we heard the news. Emily, on the other hand, said, "You both are exaggerating. It's not that easy, you know." But thank you for the compliment, looking a bit shy.
Actually, I have some news to share with you too as well.
What's up? Both of them asked me curiously.
I've found a part-time job. I'm going to start working at a bakery, so I'll be bringing home bread. Mom, that's amazing. Working at a bakery is so stylish. That's great, work hard at the bakery. Sure will.
Laughter filled the living room. I am very happy now.